Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to our physics class. Okay, and in the last class we have seen that friction is a necessary evil, right? That means friction is desirable in some situations and it is not necessary for some situations. That means it will make trouble to us in some other situations, right? So here we have to know, or we have to find some methods to increase friction where it is desirable and to decrease friction where it is undesirable, right? So we have to find some methods, or we have to find some ways to increase or decrease the friction, right? So have you ever think about why the sole of your shoes grooved, or why the tread tires have like that shapes, or like that large grooves, like that shape, or that tread tires, why it is so? Yeah, it is made in such a way that to increase the roughness of the surface, or that means this will give the sole surface more rough. That means we can walk, or we can but play with the, we can play means the players of cricket players or football players normally wears this kind of sole shoes, right? Okay, so they can move with more grip, right? That is, they can walk or they can run easily, right? And the tires, similarly the tread tires of car, truck and bulldozers provide better grip with the ground. Okay, so the heavy vehicles should have better grip with the ground so that they will not skid easily, right? So these grooves will make them more rough, the surface more rough. Okay, so that is one way to increase the roughness of the surface or increase the friction, right? And you know, we can deliberately increase the friction where it is necessary, right? And when we are riding a bicycle, we know when we are riding a bicycle it moves smoothly, right? And when we apply brake between the brake pad and the rim, what happens? Yeah, due to the friction between the brake pad and the rim, the cycle suddenly stops, right? So there what we do to make the bicycle stop, that means to make the motion arrest of the motion by using brake, right? So that is friction increases there, right? So we can increase friction to stop the bicycle. Okay, and one more thing, another example is given here. Kabaddi players, you can see kabaddi players while playing, they rub their hands with sand or what? Soil. That means here the kabaddi players rub their hands with the soil for a better grip of their opponents, right? And gymnasts apply some coarse substance on their hands to increase friction for better grip. Okay, so sand is a better option to increase friction. That means while spraying sand on a slippery surface, it will give more roughness to the surface, right? So sand is a better option to increase friction. Okay, so to increase friction, what we have to do? We have to increase the roughness of the surface, right? So in some situations we need friction to increase, right? So we have to increase the roughness of the surface. And some other situation, the friction is undesirable, right? So in the case of, we can see here the figure is given, sole of shoes and tires are traded to increase the friction. The figure is given in 151, page number 151, right? But if it is highly increased, that means the grooves are highly increased, then what happens? The tires will damage soon. That means if friction increases continuously, then what happens? The tires will there will be damage, or the tear and wear happens to the tires or the machinery parts like that. That means when friction increases, right? Okay, so in that cases we have to decrease friction. Okay, so we need ways to decrease friction also. Here we know how to increase friction. That means to increase friction we have to increase the roughness of the surface, and here these are the some ways to groove the sole, or to make groove on the tires, and to make to rub hands with the sand like a coarse substance. These all things make them rough surface. That means to increase friction. And how to decrease friction? That is the vehicle parts or the machinery parts have wear and tear due to friction, right? In that cases we have to decrease friction. Okay, so how to decrease friction? A simple example I can say you that you may know, you are familiar with a carom board, right? Carom board. While playing carom board, we spray some powder in that board, right? So that how it makes or what change it will make to the movement of that coins. Yeah, it will make easier to strike the coin, right? So the coins move more smoothly, right? That means the surface become more smoother, so that the coins can move more easier, right? So that is the one way to decrease friction, right? So that is the one example to where we decrease friction by using powder or some fine powders, right? And what is the other thing? Here you have noticed when a few drops of oil are produced on the hinges of door, the door moves smoothly, right? So we use oil on the hinges of a door, and also while we are taking water from here. Nowadays it is not used. That means while taking water from well, we use what kind of thing? A rolly. That rolly you can use what? There should be balls that is here. You can familiar with, or we can introduce ball bearings, right? So instead of that ball bearings, we will give what? Some oil to that rolly, right? And it will move more easily. So oil or grease decrease friction, right? So we give oil or grease to machinery parts, and it will what? It will work more easily. Okay. So in these cases we have to decrease friction, and to decrease friction we can say we use lubricants. Okay. So what is lubricants? What we can say about lubricants? Yeah, lubricants are the substance which reduce friction. That is called as lubricants. The substance which reduce friction. So these oil and these fine powders and greases are included in what? Lubricants. Okay. So to reduce friction, in order to increase the efficiency of the machinery parts or the vehicle parts, we use oil, grease or graphite is applied between the moving parts of machine. A thin layer is formed there, and moving surface do not directly rub against each other. The interlocking of irregularities is avoided to a great extent, right? So what it says? That means when we use grease or oil or a graphite is applied between the moving parts of machine, a thin layer is formed. That means a thin layer is formed there, and moving surface do not directly rub do not directly rub against each other. That means if these chalk pieces are directly in contact, then there will be a friction, and if in between these two there will be a thin layer of oil is playing, then what happens? The friction will be reduced, right? So this is happen here. Okay, so the interlocking or the irregularities is avoided to a great extent while using these lubricants. Okay, so that is the use of lubricants. Lubricants decrease the friction. Okay, so in some machines it may not be advisable to use oil as lubricant, and air cushion between the moving parts is used to reduce friction. Okay, so some machinery parts will not prefer oil. Okay, it will make another problems. Okay, so there will be a steaming effect will given to that machinery parts, and it will reduce air friction, right? Okay, so that is about increasing and decreasing friction. So to increase friction, we have to make the surface more rough, and to reduce friction, we have to make the surface more smoother, or we have to make we have to give some lubricants in between the interlocking surfaces, right? Okay, so that is about increasing and decreasing friction. And now we are familiar with what? Wheels reduce friction. That means the wheels or the rolling substance have less friction, right? That means if we are taking a gas cylinder from one position to another position, right? Gas cylinder, you know, it is of a cylindrical shape, and while sliding it, we will have to give more force, right? But if we roll that cylinder along ground, but it will make more easy. It will make less force, right? So we have to give less force to roll the cylinder, right? That is, the wheels reduce friction. Okay, so when it is rolling, there is almost no interlocking happens, right? So when it is rolling, the interlocking is decreased. That means the friction is decreased. That is, one point is in contact with surface at a time. That means if we roll this, that means if we roll this chalk piece like this, what happens? Only one point is in contact with the surface at a time. That means this is the contact surfaces changing continuously, right? But if we slide these, then the contact surfaces is always same. That means the interlocking will be higher, right? So when we roll anything, then the interlocking is less. That means the friction is less. Okay, so roll is, that means the wheels reduce friction. Okay, so here you can see rolling reduce friction. That means a boy is taking a rollie and he can roll that along ground, right? So here it is given that you must have seen attaches and other pieces of luggage fitted with rollers. Even a child can pull such pieces of luggage, right? These things you may have experienced, right? Then also I said the example of gas cylinder, right? So that is what the rolling or the wheels reduce friction, so that this luggage can roll, or the luggage fitted with the rollers can easily taken by a small boy or small child itself, right? Okay. Okay, so here you can see the figure, that is how rolling reduces friction. That means how wheels reduce friction. Okay, so you must have seen attaches and other pieces of luggages fitted with rollers, and even a child can push such pieces of luggage. Why is it so? So it is already discussed that when it is rolling, then only one point is in contact with the surface at a time. That means this contact surface changes continuously while rolling that thing, right? So a trolley can push, even a child can push the trolley. That means also in the case of that cylinder, I have already told you, while rolling a gas cylinder, it will but less force is given to the, right? So that when it is rolling, it will reduce our efforts, right? Or it will make our, it will there will be less friction. That is, the interlocking is less, means there is less friction, right? So we can define rolling friction, right? So here, when a body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to the motion is called rolling friction. Okay, so what is rolling friction? We have already know what is sliding friction, what is static friction, and here one more thing, rolling friction. Okay, so you just underline in your textbooks page number 152, when one body rolls over the surface of another body, the resistance to its motion is called rolling friction, right? So rolling friction reduces friction, right? And it is always easier to roll than slide a body over another, that we have already discussed in the case of that cylinder, right? And also this trolley fitted with wheels that can easily pull, right? And these are the examples for rolling friction, that is the rolling reduces friction, right? Okay, so that is the reason it is convenient to pull luggage fitted with the rollers, right? And can you now understand why the wheel is said to be one of the greatest invention of mankind? So we have seen that, or we have already studied in lower classes, that what the invention of wheel is the greatest invention of mankind, right? So that is why it is so. Yeah, when we invent wheels, it will make, or it will reduce, when we invent wheels, it reduce man's efforts, right? So we after that we are able to come up with so many different vehicles and vehicles to carry loads, that all things make us to live easier. That means that reduce our efforts, right? So the invention of wheel is a greater invention of mankind, right? So here we can sum up that rolling friction. We can relate rolling friction and static friction and also sliding friction. So what will be greater, what is the greater friction, which is the greater friction? Yeah, it is obvious that static friction is greater than that of what? Sliding friction, and it is greater than that of rolling friction, right? So rolling friction is least in all these three, right? So since the rolling friction is smaller than sliding friction, sliding is replaced in most machines by rolling by the use of ball bearings. That means here you can clear these things already we have discussed, and rolling friction is smaller among these three, right? And because of this, sliding friction is sliding is replaced with rolling by using ball bearing. Ball bearing, you may familiar with ball bearing, that is small kind of steel balls, that is placed, small steel balls placed between rotating parts of machines, and outer part is a fixed, that means you can see in the figure, that is in your textbooks page number 153, that is it is a small steel ball placed between rotating parts of machines. Okay, and outer part is fixed, inside rotating. That is, here suppose this is outer part and it is fixed, and another part is there. So this is, if in between these the ball bearings are there, right? So suppose if there is no ball bearings, what happens? This rotating part means this one is fixed. Suppose this is fixed one, or the outer part is fixed one. Suppose outer part is fixed one. This is fixed and this is rotating. Okay. So if there is no ball bearings, what happens? This part will have a contact with all these surfaces, right? These have contact, this moving part is having contact with all these surfaces, right? So what happens? Then there is higher friction, right? Friction will be increased. But if there is a ball bearing inside or in between these two, what happens? The surface in contact with these two are less. That means here we come with a rolling friction, right? So that is, rolling friction is lesser than that of any other friction, right? So if there is no balls, rotating part will be rotating on the fixed part. That means if there is no ball bearings, this will rotate with the fixed part and having greater surface greater surface in contact between these two, right? So what happens? A lot of force and energy will be used up, right? And also heat will produce, right? That means as a result, the inside part if the inside part moving without these ball bearings, what happens? There will be high energy loss and we have to give more force and there will produce heat, right? And this will cause what? Tear and wear of these machinery parts, right? So if we fix ball bearings between these, what happens? The ball will start rolling and the surface in contact with these two are reduced and also wear and tear reduced. Okay, wear and tear reduced. That means it will give more efficiency to the machinery part. That means the ball bearings will make the machines works more easily, right? So ball bearing is another important thing that reduce friction, right? So that's about ball bearings and how these ball bearings reduce friction, how these help to reduce wear and tear of machinery parts, right? So these are about friction, how to increase friction, how to decrease friction. And till now we spoke about what? Mostly about friction that acts between solid surfaces, right? So you know that air is a very light and thin. Okay, air is very light and thin and yet it exerts frictional force on the object moving through it. So now we have to study the fluid friction. Till now we have discussed the friction that causes between solid surfaces. Now we have to study fluid friction. Okay, fluid friction. So fluid in the sense, in science, fluid is anything that can flow, that is termed as fluid, right? So the water and other liquids exert force of friction when objects move through them, right? These fluids also exert frictional force, right? In science, the common name of gases and liquid is fluid, right? That is, anything that can float is termed as fluid. So it includes gases and liquids also. So we can say the fluid exerts force of friction on the object in motion through them. Okay. So it is also known as drag, right? Drag. Okay. The frictional force exerted by fluid is also known as drag. Okay. So, in the page number 153 you can underline the frictional force exerted by fluid is also known as what? Drag. Okay. So, the frictional force on the object in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid. So, what are the factors affecting fluid friction that we have to look in, we have to study, right? So, the factors affecting fluid friction are, first one is the relative speed of the object, okay, and second one the nature of fluid. Nature of fluid includes what? The viscosity of the fluid or the density of the fluid, like that things, okay. So, we know air has a lesser density, right? So, air has a lesser density, then what happens? It will exert lesser friction, right? So, second thing, first the factors affecting fluid friction means, first one what? Relative, that is factors affecting fluid friction. That means first one, relative speed of object that flow through or that in contact with the fluid, right? The frictional force on an object in a fluid depends on its speed with respect to the fluid. That means the relative speed of the object, right? And second one, what? Second one, nature of fluid. So, this nature includes what? The viscosity of the fluid or density of the fluid, like that things, okay. So, we know the air has lesser density and it will exert lesser friction, okay. And next, third one is shape of the object. So, you may notice that how the aeroplanes have that kind of shape, how it can move through the air, move along with the air, how it is possible. Yeah, it is obvious that when objects move through fluid, you can see you can read your textbook, that is, it is obvious that when objects move through the fluid, they have to overcome friction acting on them. That means we already said that air is also exerting some pressure and also water is also exerting some pressure, and all the fluid exert pressure on the object which moves through them, right? So, these objects have to overcome this frictional force to move along that fluid, right? So, in this process they lose energy, right? To overcome the frictional force, they have to lose energy, and efforts are therefore made to minimize friction. That means efforts are, so you can read your textbook, that is in page number 153. It is obvious that when objects move through fluid, they have to overcome friction acting on them, and in this process they lose energy. That we have already said that air is exerting frictional force, and water is also exerting frictional force. All the fluid exert frictional force on the object which moves along that, right? So, these objects have to overcome this friction, and to overcome this friction they have to lose energy, and all the efforts are made to minimize this frictional force, right? So, objects are given special shapes, okay. So, we know aeroplane has a special shape so that it can fly through the air, right? So, where it got this shape from nature, right? So, you may wonder with this how the birds can fly, or like that how the aeroplane is flying, right? So, this shape make them to fly easy, right? So, from nature, of course, from nature these shapes are adopted, right? That means birds and fishes have to move about in fluid all the time, right? Birds can fly all the time, and also fishes can move through the water anytime, right? So they have special shapes to survive in their surroundings, right? That means they have to live in water, the fishes have to live in water, and the and the birds have to fly in the air, right? So they have to live, and they adopt these some adaptations are there to survive in this nature, right? So their bodies must have evolved to shapes which would make them less energy in overcoming friction. That means these shapes, that means these birds and fishes have special shapes. And how it shapes help them? It helps them to lose less energy to overcome the friction exerted by water and exerted by air, like that. Okay. So these phenomena are an inspiration to the scientists to make the aeroplanes similar in its shape of a bird, right? And boats have a shape like a fish, right? So all these shapes are adopted from nature, right? So that is, in fact, all vehicles are designed to have shape which reduce fluid friction, right? Okay. So that is about fluid friction. So the aeroplanes and the boats and some other vehicles that can float through water, all these have special shapes. Okay. So these shape adopted to reduce the frictional force exerted by fluid, right? So that is about fluid friction, right? So these are the things we have to study in this chapter, that is friction is over. So what we have learned what is friction and how the friction, what causes friction, how friction is helpful to us, how friction is an evil to us, and what are the factors depending on frictional force. And now we study how to increase friction or how to reduce friction, what are the things we used for increasing or reducing friction, and at last we studied what is fluid friction, right? So study well. All these things are given in your textbooks, or the things given in your textbooks. You should read the text thoroughly, okay? And we can do problems, or we can make some questions regarding this chapter, and we can make a test paper, okay? And you should study both these chapters thoroughly for your periodic test, right? So if you have any doubts, you can ask me anytime, okay? So we can wind up today. Study well and good luck for your periodic test, okay? Thank you.